so nice to see so many of you, meet new friends and see old friends in person. It's been a couple of years since I've been to the annual meeting. So I'm Dorothy Johnson and excited to be here. I'm going to combine love of animals and love of nature for my little talk today. Hobby that I fell in love with really probably started with the pandemic and has continued on. But for 7 years, I lived in a neighborhood that bordered a 300-acre county park, and I have 2 dogs. So I have 2 beagles, and they love to get outside. We didn't have a fenced yard at the time, and so, and they were young, so we needed to get out and walk. We needed to burn off that energy, and I needed to walk and burn off energy and get some exercise. So we walked the neighborhood, but we walked to this park. We could drive to the park, and the beauty of 300 acres of prairie land and being there regularly meant that I got to see it change and evolve every day of the year. And it gave me such joy to be out in nature and just de-stress. And there are times we would go 2 or 3 times a day, especially during the pandemic when we were all home all the time, right? And so my little beagles, who are now 10 and 11 going on 12, would, just go and explore. So we don't go fast unless there's a rabbit that they see and I want to go after the rabbit. It's just sniffing it on the ground and going slower. So I could stop and take in the sight. So monarch butterflies, love the monarch butterflies. In 1 year, they migrated through the park. And we happened, we were there walking around, and there were literally thousands, and there were 15 on some of these purple flower plants, and it was just such a joy to see. I waited every year after that for them to come back, and they never did. But it was a joy. And then I was able to see, from winter, the snow and the barren and the cold, and you'd see the hawks flying around. And then as spring came and things thawed and started to green up, and the plants would grow and the flowers would bloom and all the different colors and the variety of plants, I had no idea prairies were that varied in just the ecosystem. But it was such a joy to see it and be part of that. And then by the end of summer, the flowering would peak, and the plants would be taller than me, way taller than me. So you're walking on trails that would feel like you're in a tunnel. And then in the fall, by the end of August, it's peaked and they start dying off. And we're all feeling this now that summer is just about over and time to move on to fall. But then we get new colors and new plants and animals, and that passage of time, we can mark it. My dogs are oblivious to all of this. They're really happy. And with 300 acres, we had a lot of variety in the trails that we were able to explore, so we were never bored. But I got so much joy out of just being able to stop and enjoy nature. And we just don't do enough of that. And I'm one who needs a purpose. And so having them forced me to get out more and just learn to stop and smell the milkweed, maybe. I don't even know what all the plants are. I would go and I'd walk and I'd think, oh, I need to look this up when I get home. And I never did. But it was such a joy. We have now recently moved. We're in a whole other area. We have areas to walk, but that park was such a unique opportunity, and it was a kind of a hidden gem in the city. It was right there, but most people really didn't know what was there to take advantage of. But we also met people and met dogs because there was a dog park too. So it was just my little companions, kept me company. The kids had grown and gone, and so they were home with me all day, every day, and still are. And so we get to go out and enjoy. It was good for them, it was good for me, and so now we continue on. But they're aging too. They were a little slow right now. But it's great fun, and just that, be able to de-stress and find joy. Find joy again. And especially now, as you were saying, Kimberly, this year has been quite the year, and so I find it even more important now to make sure I take time to just get out and look around and stop and truly take it in and de-stress. So, thank you.
Thank you.